Sony has kind of responded to a lot of the criticisms and things like that were kind of levied their way yesterday, and this is good to hear. You want these companies to be able to go out there and talk about what's going on, and have the gamers actually be receptive and things like that. So I do think that that's going to be super important. Now, does this placate me, or does this make me happy, or overall? I want the games to be great and to do what they can do without being held back, and I don't think that that's too much to ask. I kind of had this late night thought. Some of you guys might not know, I do suffer from a little bit of insomnia here and there, so sometimes I'll be up late, just kind of thinking about things or whatever, and I got to thinking, yes, we're in a pandemic. I get that. I get that. But with that being said, that could cause some delays and some issues in any type of game. But what I've noticed is literally every game that was pretty much cross-gen, with the exception of like Miles Morales, and every game that we are supposed to get has been delayed on Xbox and PlayStation side. That was cross-gen, and it made me think: is this probably because these games are struggling to run on old gen hardware? Now, follow with me for a second. You have to keep in mind, the PlayStation 4, base PlayStation 4, and the base Xbox One came out in 2013. Both of those were severely underpowered when they released because they used parts from 2010, and we're in 2021. So that's 11 years ago. And so I know people would jump on the whole game scale and what about PC situation, but I can promise you this. There is no PC that's running parts from 2010 that is right now able to run current gen games. It's just not happening. In fact, Digital Foundry did a test with the Jaguar CPU in a new PC, and it couldn't run current gen titles. So it goes to show you that, yeah, there's probably going to be some type of issues before too long with getting these games to run on such old hardware. Now, as it turns out, the actual thing is actually something new in development. Okay, so apparently Horizon Forbidden West and God of War were always going to be cross-gen. They both started as PS4 games. Gran Turismo 7, though, supposedly is actually just begun being cross-gen, because that's why there's this huge uproar about this. So it's very interesting to see that that's really starting to happen. So in a recent interview, obviously PlayStation boss Herman Hulst has reignited the heated debate about cross-gen gaming, as he admitted the majority of Sony's upcoming slate, including Horizon Forbidden West, God of War, and Gran Turismo 7, will also be on PS4. A significant change in messaging from a company that once proudly stated, "We believe in console generations." Of those games, Gran Turismo 7 is the most galling, as Sony specifically declared it was a PlayStation 5 exclusive in the past. Now, what happened? Was Sony just messing with us? Apparently not. According to Video Game Chronicles' Andy Robinson, who delivered plenty of accurate information in the past, the decision to make Gran Turismo 7 a cross-gen game was only made relatively recently. Gran Turismo 7, after all, was outright advertised as a PlayStation 5 exclusive in December. Although, to be fair to Sony, I understand the decision to release a PlayStation 4 version was made only fairly recently. For Horizon Forbidden West and God of War, however, these games were always intended to release as cross-gen titles. But Sony did not mention the last-gen console during the announcement of either. So, according to this, Sony wouldn't be lying when they previously said Gran Turismo 7 was PS5 exclusive. It probably was at the time, and Sony may be absolved in that respect. But if the rumor is legit, it's also true that even after widespread fan backlash against cross-gen games, they went back and retroactively made developers of Gran Turismo 7 work on a PS4 version. And for most fans or developer-friendly decision, this also raises a lot of questions. Will Polyphony Digital be scaling back their version of GT7 so that the PS5 and PS4 can be on par? Or will the PS5 version be able to breathe on its own with some exclusive features? Since it began development first, well, looks like we're going to see. Now, this is my type of thing that I draw a little bit of an issue with, is people, I saw this a lot on Twitter yesterday, people said to me, well, people are having a hard time finding a PlayStation 5. And my response to that was, the PlayStation 5 is ahead of where the PlayStation 4 was, and Sony didn't put the Order 1886, Drive Club, Knack, Killzone Shadowfall, Infamous Second Son. They didn't put any of that stuff on PS3. So why would they do this? Like, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And it looks like Miles Morales is, in fact, out there doing phenomenal stuff because people are waiting to pick it up on the PlayStation 5. So we do have that sort of situation kind of going ahead. But, I digress with this stuff. I'm very curious to hear what you guys think about this. But there was some very good news. Horizon Forbidden West features free climbing system, expanded melee, and PS5 enhancements, which I think is good. That should placate some people. Game director revealed that there's a new free climbing system in Horizon, which combined with the grappling hook and the glider should make for a much better traversal experience. There's a free climbing that we added to Forbidden West compared to the previous game. You're now completely free to climb anywhere on any rocks or mountains or cliffs, so we've really opened up the world and made it even more inviting to explore. And I think with the grapple, it's really great to quickly go up to something and you can launch up even further. Then you can quickly ascend with the glider. So it's a combination of some of these tools that make it feel very agile and fun to use. The shield wing, the gliding, is something that we tried already in the first game many years before it shipped. It is one of the first things that we actually tried and prototyped, but we didn't ship with it because also for technical reasons back then, we couldn't really do that, but now we have it and it works great. He also talked about the expanded melee system, which I actually liked. I thought that they did a good job updating that. He says the melee weapon and the melee systems have been greatly expanded in Horizon Forbidden West. We now have different combos that you can also acquire through the skill tree, and each combo move has its own specific purpose. The one that you see in the demo has a multiple hit one, and the last hit does the extra damage, so I think that's really cool. The developer also confirmed that most of the game's development focused on the PS4, however, it's going to look and play its best on PlayStation 5. Which, by the way, I'm happy to report a big old 60 frames per second has been confirmed, so we do know that. A lot of people were kind of curious about that. I think that it's one of those things that really kind of just is weird to me that people would think otherwise. One of the saving graces of this game and God of War being cross-gen is the fact that that means that 100% guaranteed that there's going to be a 60 frames mode for these as well. So a lot of development has taken place on the PlayStation 4 apparently, and a lot of playtesting is also done on PS4. So they're ensuring that owners of that console have a great experience and that Horizon Forbidden West will look fantastic on the console. For the PlayStation 5, we can go much further, of course. Visually, we can add a lot more detail. Graphically, the rendering technique for the underwater scenes is special and exclusive to the PlayStation 5. It has extra details and extra systems that Wave technology is better on the system as well. The lighting on Aloy on the PlayStation 5 has much more definition. We use a special cinematic lighting rig on the PlayStation 4. It is only used in cutscenes because the game is not running and we have more processing power in those scenes. But for the PlayStation 5, we have plenty of processing power. So we can have the lighting rig always available, so she always looks great with that lighting setup traveling with her anywhere. Then, of course, we have the DualSense controller, which adds another sense of immersion because specifically with the weapons that are so important for combat, the adaptive triggers convey the sense of pulling the bow and releasing the arrow. Then we have 3D audio, which is also great immersion and always super important for us when we're thinking about Horizon Forbidden West and are designing environments and things like that. So they really want players to kind of feel like they've been in that environment, and these new features are going to help with that as well. So for me personally, it is what it is. They're going to get a little bit of crap for the whole we believe in generation stuff, and as they should, really. I mean, you're going to go out there and kind of make these types of statements. You need to really go out and kind of back that up and not add more and more and more to like the previous gen. So it is very interesting, to say the least, that they were able to come out and respond and at least kind of placate some of the fans and some of this stuff, because at the end of the day, we're the gamers, we're the ones buying this stuff, and so it does make it almost so you don't really need a PlayStation 5. I mean, I guess if you really want Ratchet and Clank or whatever, but yeah, it's very interesting. And again, 60 frames confirmed, all this kind of stuff, it's really confirmed. And I think that it's fun that they're sharing all this information about the game right now, because I do believe that that's going to be something that we're going to continue to see support of. So I'm very happy about that. It means a lot to me personally that it's going to be 60 frames on the PS5. It's going to, have a lot of these things specific to the PS5. I'm really interested to hear what you guys all think about this, though. So why don't you guys sound off, rate, comment, subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. This has been Crapgamer Reviews. Rack 'em up. Crapgamer out.